Boyles, and I'm delighted today to introduce a program that I don't think we've ever had before. And the whole program is on pet policy, and we're going to try to make it kind of fun. So I would like to begin by introducing our guest, who is also one of our cameramen here at Channel 6. And Ivan, I've never seen you on that side of the camera.
It's the delight to be on this side once in a while.
It is. This is Ivan Ives, who is a member of the Resident Council and also the liaison to the Resident Life Committee.
Right.
Ivan, I'm delighted you're here today, and you and I have talked a little bit about what this is all about. We're going to have you talk about the pet policy and what's involved here. Then we're going to show a little clip of one of our old shows, and we'll talk about it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Great. One of the delights around here, when we're out in our morning walk around the territory, it was fun to see the people and their pets and all sizes, different shapes and everything. The dogs coming around examining every leaf and every blade of grass, making sure everything's okay, and the owner kind of holding onto the leash and hoping somehow this is going to move. And then they get moving, and we get to know them. And
yes.
Every once in a while sit and chat, and you can imagine the dog sitting there. I thought this was a walk, you know. When are we going to get on with this?
I know there's a great deal of socializing. I have a sort of medium-sized dog, and I find that it's a great icebreaker. Everybody wants to stop and, you know, admire the dog and then pet them. And so, no, it's a wonderful thing. I think these pets become kind of the community pets.
And such a contribution to the people and to the community.
Absolutely.
So I am very happy that Green Spring welcomes pets.
Yes.
And a lot of the places, they kind of get to the point where they say, just no pets at all. We just don't want to fuss with that. And
well,
that they lose a lot.
My understanding, Ivan, when I came here 10 years ago, they had just changed the policy. But
That's
the policy, the first 10 years of Green Spring was that when your pet died, you could not replace that pet.
Okay.
So they changed, and I think there may have been a size limit at one point as well. So the rules did get relaxed. I think a lot of people actually come to Green Spring because of the pet policy.
I wouldn't doubt it a bit, because that's a part of the family, and
It is.
And so they come in, and so it's really great, and we see this relationship between the residents and the community and whatnot. So it's a voluntary kind of thing. Okay, we want you to have the pet, because it can be so much in the family. But there are some responsibilities that go with it. And to work that one out and say, one is, well, what kind of a pet are you going to have? You know, kangaroos don't work well at Green Spring, and
alligators.
And alligators. So basically, they're saying dogs, cats, birds, fish. These seem to work well.
Now, with the one exception, because anybody that's been here very long will recall that we did have a couple here who had a pet rooster.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know whether you ever heard the story, but everybody in Village Square knew about that rooster because they walked it in the lobby with a diaper on it.
Oh,
and the Fairfax, I mean, I'm deadly serious. The Fairfax County, finally, they refused to get rid of it. And finally, the Fairfax County animal control person had to come over and tell them that they could not. It was prohibited by Fairfax County. And the couple left with their rooster.
With the rooster.
Left Green Spring, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure there are just all kinds of stories.
So that was,
and there are adjustments that go on all the time from that.
So I just wanted to clarify that birds mean domestic birds.
That's about it.
Not roosters.
For right now, one of the sources for this thing is on the move-in guide. And when the people are talking about what's going on,
is
there's
that a new publication?
To me, it is.
I had not seen that either.
This I ran across not long ago when I was talking with the sales folk and whatnot, and they have a section toward the back on pets, just rather brief. Says, okay, dogs, cats, birds, fish, whatnot. So remember that dogs have to be on a leash when they're out of the apartment.
Yes.
And the dogs especially must be registered with the county. So there's still that requirement that goes
Not
in.
registered with the county, registered with a social worker.
Well, you have the county to get the tag, and then you
Oh,
also,
the rabies tag.
Yeah, that has to do with
Now
immunizations and all
that's
that.
through your vet,
Yeah.
because that involves
Yeah.
a rabies.
And then they have to have the vaccination record,
Right.
as they come in there. And then it's interesting, on the form that is registered there and is information on the owner, information on the pet itself, and then another one which is also vital information is, okay, if for some reason or another you're unable to provide care for the pet, who will assume the responsibility? And that's just vital information that is needed.
Yes.
And so that has to be a part of it too. And so that form is sent to our social workers. That provides a basis for a conversation with the residents. Do you understand what is going on? Do you have any questions on there? And they can help in getting that all put together. And
So the
whatnot.
social worker has the form.
They have the form, just said, okay, we will interview them and explain and answer any questions and make sure they know what the agreement is. So that's the thing. Then it makes reference to a page 35 in another document. But sometimes the social worker may recommend that they put some reference to the pet on the door, so that any security people or first responders that are coming in are aware that there's a pet in there. And some people even put a picture of the pet so they know what's going on. Because that's helpful sometimes. So when you come in, if it's a dog, they will usually come and greet you in one way or the other.
Right.
Okay. And I met that one year, a long time ago. I worked for the electric company. And the young guy on the crew, he's going to get the job of reading the meters. So I met every dog in town and whatnot, and I got to where I like big dogs better than little dogs. They were more honest in their bark. If there was one bark that said, "Okay, you're not fooling anybody. I know you're there." Okay, fine. There was another bark that said, "Put one foot in here and I'll tear your leg off." Yeah, I believe those too.
Differentiate.
That's about it. So anyway, but they will tend to come out. The cats will tend to hide.
Yes, right.
And so, what are you looking for? What color, what size, and whatnot, if they need to find them? So a picture sometimes is very helpful. So you get that. But anyway, then they do make reference to this resident handbook in there. That has a more complete description of this agreement between regarding the pets and how you go about this thing. And it also has an appendix that pet policy guidelines, and there's more information. So if you want information, you've got it right here that relates to the pets in there. And it basically tells them, don't exercise the pets in the hallways. That's not really what the hallways are concerned about. When they shouldn't be in the common areas. So every once in a while, one of our people will say, "Well, I'm out here going by the post office. Why don't I just drop in and check my mail and whatnot?" No, not a good idea if you had a pet on a leash. That's just not what we want. When the dogs are on the patios or on the balconies, then you need to be kind of aware of that. Because once they decide they've been out there long enough and they're trying to contact their owner, and if he's not paying any attention, that can get a little hard on the neighbors.
Yes, if they're out there by themselves barking.
And they can't do much on that. So these kinds of things. And if for one reason you have the idea that if you're going to be walking a dog, you don't use a common area, you go to the closest door to the outside and then go from there. as you're coming back, if for some reason the dog has an accident between the door and the apartment, then that needs to go to the front desk so that things can get cleaned up and cleaned very well for sanitary purposes. So we need the cooperation, just going back and forth, to understand that these things are going on. So those are the kinds of things that are in these books. And then if you're still looking for more, you have the Green Spring Resources Handbook.
Now that again, I have never seen that.
That is a new one, as I remember, 2008, just put out, has some real good stuff in there on the different groups that meet at Green Spring, one of which is Dogs of Green Spring, or sometimes just shortens to Dogs.
You know, that has a different cover than...
Yeah, it's a new cover on that one.
Is it a brand new edition?
Right.
Aha.
It just come out, 2008 editions come out.
18?
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, I'll get on the right century yet. Yeah, but it shares ideas of training and retention and recreation for dog lovers. They can have a time to get together and help each other and share ideas. You talks about the pet parade that takes place as a part of the life of the community, the blessing of the animals in there. And if you happen to have a dog that is very gentle and friendly and a friend of all mankind and whatnot, then you have the pet visit group at Garden Ridge.
Yes.
Just the idea of being able to
and
pet
intermissions
an
also.
Animal, right? And you know, if you've got this one that I won't let you scratch my ears for any more than 2 hours, you know, that is a tremendous advantage, and so it becomes a gift to the community, not just in itself. So these kind of things. I think there's a cat group too, something like Here Kitty or something. I've lost the title of the little group.
Yes.
But also
there is a cat group, and I can't think of the name of it
in
either.
a way that they can share and help each other and whatnot. So there are a lot of different ways in which the people can talk together and understand how can we take care of the pet and enjoy them, and the neighbors can enjoy either seeing them or not having them or whatever, and what. So that kind of an arrangement is what we're trying to do, and it's just a voluntary thing. We get right now in the council, we're getting some comments that having the dog on a leash, sometimes picking up after the animal,
sure to clean
and
up.
especially in the hallways and whatnot.
Gracious, yes.
That those are critical things we really need some additional attention to right now. But I am just wonderfully glad for how well all the residents take care of their pets and share them and do their part in this agreement that we have.
Ivan, I think that's right, that for the most part, everybody really does bend over backward to be responsible pet owners, I think. And it just takes a few sometimes to kind of create a problem. We haven't had many, but we have had a few.
Yeah. And sometimes we're just not thinking for a few minutes, and that happens. But I think of a couple of years ago that we were doing a program on That's Life, and they were looking at pet areas and whatnot, and those were fascinating. I think at least there were a couple of them. I believe you were involved in setting that up and putting those together, and that. So I'd be interested in knowing what was all in that as you're putting it together.
Well, I should probably tell people a little bit about what that series has been, because it's still continuing. It's a series called That's Life, and it's been running for almost 4.5 years, which it's hard to believe. Ivan, it began as, the program was called What Do Social Workers Do?
Okay.
Real catchy title.
Oh yeah, good.
The impetus being the Halloran survey that year, 5 years ago,
Okay.
that indicated that people had no clue what social workers really did.
Okay.
And so we were trying to, we had a series of skits on what turned out to be That's Life program that showed social workers interacting with residents.
Right.
And it became really a dual kind of program in terms of its role. It was showing what social workers did, but it was also showing issues that residents have.
Right.
As fairly realistic kinds of resident issues. And so the residents were playing, we had a group of resident players playing fictional characters.
Right.
Now, one of the most beloved characters was called Pansy. And Pansy was played by Kay Cumbie. And Pansy had a pet alligator.
I remember that. Yeah.
All
That
right.
was great.
And the alligator was named Al. Okay.
Okay.
Now, Al was about maybe 2 feet long and very realistic looking. He was the cute as he could be.
Right.
So at any rate, we were trying to do several things. I mean, one was just the humor of it, because Pansy walked Al in the village square lobby
Oh, okay.
and hallways. And Kathleen Taylor, who was my partner in this program, asked her, what in the world, how did people react to your alligator? And she said, well, they kind of flung themselves against the other side of the wall in the hallways. Anyway, it was very cute and very funny. But it also had a serious message, as you recall. There were 2 serious messages. One was just exactly what you said here, that pets are only dogs, cats, birds, and fish. And Pansy said, well, couldn't this be considered a fish? Well, not really. So at any rate, the other part of this was that the social worker, in this case Kathleen, told her that she was going to have to get rid of Al.
Oh,
But
okay.
she, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
Pansy
just
was
the,
terribly upset
the
about
grief
this.
around that. Yeah.
Oh, the grief, yeah,
Yeah,
there you
but-
go. That's right. Then we wanted grief counseling. But
Yeah.
at any rate, and then Kathleen discovered that there was a rescue league for alligators in the Everglades. So she made arrangements to have Al transported. So the little segment that we're going to show today is Kathleen having a discussion with Pansy about Al and telling her about this rescue
That's
league.
great.
So at any rate, I guess we will now stop and roll this 4-minute segment from That's Life.
Well, this is the best of days and the worst of days. Some of you know that I've been living with a wonderful pet named Al, and I love him so much, but for some reason, he just doesn't seem to fit in at Green Spring. And so the social workers, and let me tell you, the social workers here are phenomenal. They have found a home for Al the alligator, where he will play with other alligators. You may notice later on that he's all dressed up. I've got him fixed as best I can, because when he gets where he's going, I want him to be the cutest alligator on the scene. Now, I'm really going to miss him, but I have to admit that it's getting a little tough to get him in and out of the bathtub anymore. And so this is probably a really good solution for Al and for me, but it's going to hurt. So I asked if they had visiting hours at this place where he's going, and they do. But it's in Florida or somewhere, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to miss him. Well, Kathleen, was so excited when I heard from you that you had found the perfect home for Al.
Yeah.
I just really am excited, but gosh, I'm going to miss this guy.
Yeah, I can see that
No.
you guys have really bonded.
Oh, absolutely. We're joined at the hip. But how's he going to get where he's going?
Okay, well, as we talked about, he is going to be going to Gator Boys. I got it written down. Gator Boys Alligator Rescue, and they're at the Everglades Holiday Park. So I know it's far away, but the good thing is that he's going to be with other alligators, so he's going to be hanging out and playing and doing alligator things, so that'll be good.
Just occurred to me, I wonder if they have Skype.
I don't know. We'll have to ask them.
I can always recognize him because he's dressed up so nicely.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he is dressed up really nice. Very cute. Very festive. So, so what we're going to do is that they have arranged for him to fly down to Florida. I know. Well, we're going to put him in a crate, like a dog crate, and he's going to fly. So I'm sure he'll enjoy that.
I bet he'll miss me, though.
I'm sure he'll miss you. Yeah, you're his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this is a
Kids
this is
grow
a
up,
good-
don't they?
They grow up and they fly away. but he'll be good, and I know that it's the right thing to do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Good. Yeah.
sure.
He'll be a happy little boy.
And I'll be a lonesome mom, but
Yeah.
I'll be happy too.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And then if we want to, we can think about a pet that might be a little bit more appropriate for here. I mean, if you wanted
yeah.
one, yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Well, I might have to control this thinking a little bit. We don't want it to be exotic. We want it to be normal. We want like a little kitty or,
Are you suggesting Al's not normal?
well, he's normal for the Everglades. Oh. Yeah. It's a good fit.
Thank
So
you.
anyhow, you're welcome. So I think we're good, and we'll connect and make sure that we get him to the airport and do all of that.
Oh, could I go and wave goodbye?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then we're good. We've got a plan.
Good.
All right.
I'll hear from you.
Well,
Great to see that one again.
It was, and I don't know how we did that with a straight face, all of us, but it was great fun. We had a lot of fun with with those early episodes with Al and Kay Cumby playing Pansy.
Yeah.
I should put in a plug, if you don't mind, Ivan, for our next That's Life program. It will
Oh,
be
great.
a week
That's a
from.
great series.
Thank you.
Okay.
We've had a wonderful time doing it. It's virtually all skits, and we've had fun writing the skits and playing the skits, and I think folks have thoroughly enjoyed the program. The next one is next Monday,
Okay.
a week from today, and this one is a serious one, having to do with a recent widow needing a grief group, grief
okay.
support group. So anyway, tune into That's Life next Monday.
Yeah.
Ivan, I think that there was a serious message, despite the humor
Yeah.
humor in this. I think there was a serious message, and again, reiterating the fact that the types of pets we can have here are restricted, and being a responsible owner, and the role of the social worker in all this as well.
Yeah, they've been very helpful here. And just the cooperation of the people as they go to try to take care of everything, realizing especially in common areas that because with the pets, a lot of times with the people with allergies and whatnot may not be able to handle that very much. So that's one
know.
of the reasons why we say, please,
I know
don't have them in common areas.
That common area is kind of I mean, frankly, once in a while I have taken my dog through the lobby for various reasons where I didn't have any choice.
Yeah.
That I was let off right there in front,
Sure.
and that's where I needed to go. But it is an issue with people, as some of our folks here have been pointing out. Folks with allergies and things of that sort you know, it really isn't totally fair.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I mean, in all honesty, those same pets are up and down the hallways. And I don't know that the common area is any more susceptible
That's too bad.
to,
Yeah.
you know, to dander
Yeah.
and hair and things of that sort.
But
than the
do
common
what
areas.
we can, you know.
Absolutely.
And I
Uh-huh.
understand too, you know, with the owners, the responsibility of the owners. Although sometimes, you know, if the cat owners, it's debatable who is the owner and who is the other one.
This
So
is true.
that is come up. But anyway, we appreciate so much their cooperation and their diligence in enjoying
Yes.
the pets that they have and making
sharing
use in
them.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll look forward to meeting more people as we're walking around and breathe
Yes.
and get to know every dog in town.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, Ivan, this has been a great fun and interesting program, and I'm delighted you came today. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope our viewers have too.
Well, thank you for your help.